Hey everybody, welcome to the Anime Association. And this episode, we will be talking about Lazarus episode 3. Before we do that, make sure to give the video a subscribe and a like, as this helps us greatly and it's free for yourselves. So, before we get into this episode, I got my boy Kaio Tim and I got Shin the Hero joining me for this episode to talk about Lazarus. What's up, guys?
What's up? What's up?
Hello.
Good. So, episode 3 of Lazarus is here, and some interesting stuff has actually happened. We've seen that the story has slowly started to progress. I will say that it is still a little bit too vague at the minute. There's not a lot of stuff happening. But just give me your general thoughts, starting with you, Kyle Tim, about episode 3. What was your feeling from that episode so far?
My feeling was that it's feeling like an empty wild goose chase right now. I feel like they wasted a lot of time during the baklava scenes. Instead of pushing the story forward, they were just kind of lingering about them not moving.
Mhm.
Other than that, it was, I liked it. I liked the, going in and finding the professor and everything. It just felt like they were lingering on certain scenes. And when they would bring something interesting up, they didn't really focus on there that much.
Yeah, Shin.
All right, so I'm gonna be 110% honest. Even with this third episode, this is a type of thing where I feel like the show is not meant to be viewed episode by episode. Like a lot of his shows, like Watanabe, specifically Bebop and Samurai Champloo, even up until this point in their episodes threes, it still wasn't. Things weren't jiving either. And those are shows that I would say you have your main plot, which is we got to find this dude who is apparently going to mass murder everybody. He's had a 3-year plan and everything like that. We got to find this dude. We got to find him. Just like in Bebop, got to find freaking Vicious. Or we get to that point. And even in Samurai Champloo, we got to find the samurai that smell of sunflowers. That's like the core of it, and then we're just going on these adventures and everything like that. But like this third episode, it's like we didn't really get anything. We didn't really get anything about the characters too much. We didn't even really. We got more about like the guy we're looking for than anything. But like, and then we get this like little hacker thing. So we get something about the girl, their hacker girl. With them, we get a little. We get little crumbs, and this is the third episode. Normally, by like your third episode rule, you're supposed to be hooked. I'm not hooked. I'm not hooked. I'm kind of I'm calling falling off. But at the same time, I understand this isn't. I feel like this isn't something you need to like. There's not much to talk about. Like this is not something you should watch week to week, expecting exciting thrills. I think this is something like it's almost like I hearken it to like a comic book. Sometimes one issue isn't great, but once you get that whole complete story in a full book, then it unfolds, then it becomes great and everything like that. And that's what I feel like this is going to be. I really feel like it's gonna be like an episodic thing. Every episode they're gonna be going on a wild goose chase here and there, following leads and everything like that. And it won't probably pick up until like I don't know how many episodes this is gonna be. I'm assuming this is 24, but like it probably won't start picking up until towards the end, like the last 5 episodes, when stuff goes to fan. But the other thing that is interesting is like every episode, at least these past 3 episodes, we get that counter. So we get that counter for the month. So like once that counter goes down to 0, I feel like the story might actually start picking up there too. But like I don't know, like not a lot happened in episode 3. It was just nothing plot relevant happened in episode 3. Put it that way.
Yeah,
even in the first 2 episodes, not too much happened, and we only really got introduced to like the one character, and that's Axel. That's it. Everybody else is still really a mystery.
Yeah. No, I get you, and I agree. I think leading into the new anime season itself, this was probably one of my most anticipated projects because obviously of Watanabe being a fan of Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo. There was a sense of, oh, okay, cool. Even a little bit of Space Dandy as well. There was just a feeling of like, because it was his project, there was an excitement as a and with the first three episodes, yeah, there it has been somewhat lackluster. It's been a very slow pace. And what I did notice, as you've touched upon, Shin, is that comparing the other three projects that he's done before, including Lazarus, so Samurai Champloo and Cowboy Bebop, there is a recycling of plot. You're looking for someone within all three projects, as you said, Vicious, the sunflower, the samurai that smells of sunflower, and now Dr. Skinner here. But also leading into that, I think there were some good aspects of the episode itself. For example, I did quite like a little bit that dynamic between Axel and Doug, especially when they went into the mission leading into the homeless area, where they were looking for Dr. Cloud itself, as well as a few different things. But coming to you, Kyle, Tim, like, what was the good bits of the episode? I know it was a bit lackluster and a little bit slow, but there were some good bits. What good bits did you take away from the episode?
I guess we got a little bit more into like how the societal structure is. I don't know exactly like how far into the future or if it's just an alternate timeline of our world it is, but we did get some societal structure with Doug and how he got kicked out of the campus and everything. That was good. And then the fact that Axel picked up the camera, that was probably the most interesting part to me, when he found the camera and was talking to, I'm presuming is Skinner, even though it showed like it was somebody else that was watching.
Yeah, I think it's
that
one
was
of the
watching
hackers.
them.
I think it's one of the hackers that he
That's
has
working
with him.
for him.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, I would say those were probably the two more of the better parts of the episode, honestly. Other than that, I felt like where they could have given us more information, they decided to do the exact opposite. Like every time we were about to get something, it was, oh, he's playing basketball, or oh, why are they sitting here, instead of giving us more stuff, which, like Shin said, it's definitely going to probably be better of a binge than anything. But that's kind of one of the reasons I wasn't a big fan of a show like Cowboy Bebop, because it didn't build up until like the very, very end of the series. You actually got the plot. The only thing that's really holding me on now is that we have a full circle plot that we're actually looking for. Like, we actually know what the end goal is.
Yeah. Shin?
I give Watanabe this, like, he know how to use music to tell a story. Like it does feel like he's using more of a jazz, like scat type thing. But like there's a little hip hop mixed in there. But like when they did the chase scene, when it was in there,
Istanbul.
and with when it was in Istanbul with the short haired kid, the blonde haired
Leland.
kid, like when that was with him. And they were doing the chasing and everything like that, and the music was playing like that. Like, this soundtrack is off the chain. I will say that he knows how to tell a story with music. I'll say that much. But like, there's another thing. Like, I know I gotta get back on the good stuff, but like, even the character designs, my guy, nobody stands out. I don't.
Yeah.
Even in Space Dandy, the main dude, he looked cool and everything like that. Like there was stuff that was popping and junk like that. Bebop, the Bebop crew, like they look distinct and everything. Spike is one of the coolest characters in anime history.
Yeah.
And Samurai Champloo, we know that trio. Like, they look distinct. These guys, they look like side characters. But I do 110% agree with you on the aspect of the how about kind of like they're growing as like a team. I do like that.
Yeah.
I like how Leland went with Axel and them to go to the place for the grandma, and how they
Mhm.
kind of was being chummy and whatnot, even with the black dude and Axel. Even because he straight up says, "I don't like you. I don't like you. I don't like you being here and anything like that." And he's like the feeling is mutual and everything like that. But even still, it's like one of those odd couple type things. They work
Yeah.
together really well. Even in episode 2, when we got it with the girl who duped him, the one who caught him and everything like that. Like we see that while they're in the car and everything like that. We see the team. The only person we're waiting on is the little hacker girl. But like we see it kind of all forming around Axel. He's our
Mhm.
guy, and everything like that. So like I like those aspects, those character aspects, and everything like that. And I even like the fact about when we went to the homeless thing, like that little area, that little chunk of the story was pretty cool too. That was that was a refreshing thing.
Yeah.
Learning a little about the background, learning about Buddy's friend who became transgender, who was a Jim and now is a Jenny. Now that was fun, and I think and then it also harkens back to other about him about when he escaping jail and everything like that.
Mhm.
I want to know more about. He just says this is a hobby. I want to know why. Why
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
Yeah.
think you a escape artist or something like
because
that?
they seem to
Sure.
focus on that little part a lot about his character is that he enjoys escaping.
Escaping. Yeah.
I think in every episode they bring it up like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
also want to ask y'all this: are y'all watching this dubbed or sub?
Dubbed.
Both.
Both.
Yeah.
So I'm watching this dub because normally his works has some of the best dubs. I think it is a very missed opportunity to not have uh our guy whose name is now just off my mind. The dude who voiced Spike
The do Axel.
to do Axel. Oh my god, his voice actor.
Wow.
It's
Mm.
nothing against him.
Yeah.
He should have had if he's not in this show somewhere, it's gonna be a travesty. That's all I'm saying.
I think he might be. I think an interesting thing that I saw in the episode, and I think let me take you guys back here, is at the beginning of the episode, we kind of see that during the face recognition scans have noticed that there's about 106,000
Yeah.
lookalikes of Dr. Skinner itself. Watching the
Mhm.
episode, I did see something very interesting when they went to the homeless area, and I've included the image here that I think maybe it might be something or it might be nothing. So let me just pop up the screenshot for you guys here. Can you see this guy that Doug is speaking to? It
The
could
dude
it
with
be
the shades.
could it be Dr. Skinner hiding in plain sight?
And it's like
Because they all think he's somewhere,
Mm.
and
I think
they clearly said that this man is just some blind man. But based on the aesthetics, it does resemble what
it does,
Skinner.
yeah.
Yeah, it could be
I
something or it
also
could be nothing.
I also will say this. It could be nothing, but I also will say this. We saw Shaggy in this too. He was in the homeless thing.
what?
Yeah, that Shaggy from Scooby Doo. That was Shaggy from Scooby Doo. I don't care what nobody say. That was Shaggy from Scooby Doo. That was when they was talking to that dude in the green shirt
Yeah.
and everything. I was like,
Yeah.
Shaggy from
I'm
Scooby.
weak.
Yeah, I was just like, hey man, it might just be another dude, but like that could be something too. But like,
I think it might be, not to cut you off, Shin, but
no, you're
I
good.
think
You're good.
I think it might be only because after that we have Axel saying he's watching us.
Yeah.
So and like they're like, what, you think he's like seeing everything that we're doing? So if that is Skinner, then that makes that little piece of dialogue make even more sense.
But he said that
Yeah.
towards the end of the episode, though. He was like, he's watching us.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like if that is Skinner, because that's like near the beginning, middle part
and then
of the
he found
episode.
then he found the camera. That's towards
Yeah.
when he said that he found the camera.
Yeah, but Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's watching him through the camera, but he's also watching them physically. You see what I'm saying? Like that's
Yeah.
Skinner actually following somebody that he thinks can get him type of thing. Because I'm still trying to figure out why he is doing this. Is that like I still think he's trying to expose something instead of kill
Yeah.
everybody. I think he's trying to expose something. But that's if that is Skinner, I think that would make those two sections merge together and probably make the episode a little bit better if that's what it comes out to be.
Man, that man
Yeah.
would be the dumbest smart man ever if that was the case,
Yeah.
man.
I think then, like, I don't know. There was another thing that I saw in the episode. I'm not sure how you guys felt about it. Is when they did go to Istanbul, and they actually did go to his grandma's house. The other thing was when they were watching the videos about Skinner and how he was kind of in contact with the
I,
grandma. Like,
I know you're talking about. I know you talking about the grandma when the way she looked at Shifty when they was watching the video. Is that what you
yeah,
was
no,
gonna say?
yeah, no, no. I was just about to say, like, what were your thoughts about the fact that, like, even though they'd gone, this man has just basically threatened humanity and said, "I'm going to kill you guys," but yet the episode tried to put a little spin that makes this man seem like he's a great, good, nice man who is just, maybe something, maybe he's not himself, that he's doing this, and that, like what were your feeling about that, like, because it seems to be something that happens a lot in anime where a bad guy that is clearly bad or shown intent to hurt and harm people, there is always this, oh, but he's actually a good guy, he's such a nice grandson, he's not such a nice child, this, like, like the idea of wanting to add that little angle for us to give us that self-doubt that, oh, maybe he is a good dude and he's just misguided. Like, what's your feeling about that? Because I didn't quite like that, about them trying to portray that with the video message with the grandma, that he's some nice guy that's always checking up on people, he's a good soul and all of this stuff. And I just want to see what you guys thought about that.
I think it doesn't bother me because it's a common trope, especially since they're all humans at the end of the day. So of course, every human's gonna have like something that can humanize them, right? Like, yeah, he's about to commit the biggest mass murder the world have never seen in history, but that's also what kind of gave me the inkling of maybe he isn't doing what he's saying he's doing, and he has an ulterior motive type of thing. Because why would he? Oh, you can get the antidote if you find me. Well, that doesn't really sound like somebody that really has that much of an ill intention versus they have an ulterior motive of, I want y'all to find something in 30 days. Now, maybe he is going to kill them all in 30 days if they don't find it, but it could be, I think there's a missing link in between the pill and the murders of, this is really what I want y'all to do.
Yeah, Shin.
Yeah, I do agree. And speaking of the antidote, do you think, which I'll give you my answer in a minute, but like, do you think that thing that old girl found, that pill, when they went into the house, that pill, do you think that might actually be a clue to the antidote?
I do.
Yeah, because the way, it could have been if it was nothing, she would have just left it. But I think they've kind of felt like it could be something. So there is a possibility, because obviously, in a situation like that, there's always a slip up. There's always a slip up somewhere that kind of has to
Yeah.
keep the plot going. Because this could be that little key thing that's like, oh,
A
actually,
throwaway moment where
yeah,
it's like later on she's gonna be like, they're gonna see like a picture of a pill with the 5, and she's going, oh, like she's
Yeah.
oh,
because
I
she
have
put
that.
it in
Yeah,
her pocket. They don't
Pocket,
change
yeah.
clothes, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I have this right here, and it's like, oh, well, that's the mix this with some dandelion, and you got the cure or something like that, right? Like,
Yeah. But I do agree with Tim. I don't think like the whole thing about them trying to humanize him is what
Mhm.
Tim has said is the par for the course. But I
Yeah,
do 100% agree with Tim where it's like I think I look, there is a anime likes to do this thing where they do the opening and then the ending. The opening really tells us nothing about the show. It don't tell us anything about the characters. It's just a nice little music thing, and it just introduces the characters, quote unquote. The ending, though, you see everybody down on the ground, like dead, basically. It's in black and white and everything. It's a sad song. And Axel's the only one that gets up at the end, at the very end of the ending.
Yeah.
I think people will actually die from this. But I don't. But what Tim was saying, like him having an alternative motive, I do believe he does have an alternative motive, though.
Yeah.
There is a reason why he set this up, not just to play God, basically, or play the devil, or basically.
Yeah.
I think there is something else, some other elaborate goal at this, like he does. But I do think people will die, and they will
Mhm.
probably blame it. And when that time is up, the people who die, they probably will blame it on that,
Yeah.
on the pills and everything like that. But it might be a different cause of the death and everything like that.
You know, as you were saying that, I got to thinking because you was like, and you brought up exactly what I was going to say. There's going to be a different cause than what the pill is. What if he knew that and he's trying to take the blame?
Yeah,
I
that's another
Mm.
thing. Yeah, that could be
like,
another thing.
Mm.
yeah, it's like one of them things. Like, I don't know why you would want to take the blame for something like that because of how big it is. But
Yeah.
if he is trying to take the blame, that line of reasoning for taking the blame has to make sense. Whether it's like a lover type of thing, a kid type of thing, or or just calculations gone wrong. Instead of the whole team taking the fall, I'm gonna take the fall type of ordeal. But uh, yeah, that's when you were saying that, it just popped in my head like a light bulb. So
No, no, that's very, very interesting, and hopefully, like we will kind of, in the next few, at least couple of episodes, we do. Hopefully, we get that hook, as Shin said. Like, you would have expected it by episode 3, you get that hook that pulls you in. But I think another bit that was that I hope we get to see it, and it's not just a copper wave situation. Is I think we've obviously seen that. Is it Elena, the hacker herself? She's just basically said that the hacker she was chasing has actually has basically taken the bait. Now,
Yeah.
I'm hoping that because she has actually said it herself that there are only 3 hackers in the world that are skilled enough to do this mass operation of of having about 100,000 face recognitions applied onto someone else here, 2 other people and her. I'm hoping for a mini hacker battle, where she's trying to trace him, he's counter tracing it, and just basically emphasizing or showing us how skilled of a hacker she is, because we've seen that Axel is very good at escapism. He's also parkour and a few other things. We've not really seen too much of Doug. We've seen that Leland is very good technically with technology, and we've seen that I forgot her name, but old girl, she's really more stealthy itself. So I want to see something in action where we can actually see that the hackers, they're going bar for bar, band for band, and then eventually the hacker gets caught, because then it kind of reinforces her importance to the crew instead of just basically looking around and finding people. That's just so easy. I think hopefully we get something like that. But like, just to close it, just as a closing off thing is that I don't know if you guys have noticed, like the way, even in Istanbul, when Axel and Leland were together, when they had that little sequence where they were running away, but then they had some moments where Axel had to do some hand-to-hand combat, and he did a bit of some groundwork here. Like, is it me? But Axel, Spike, and Mugen, they all have similar skill sets. There is a level of, it's all, I don't want to say recycled, but they've all been given the exact same fighting style. Obviously Mugen just used a sword, Spike used his feet, but like you see Axel on the ground, he does like somewhat of a windmill like Mugen does. He's got the kicks that Spike does. Is it something that you guys notice yourself, that all three characters have the same similarities across all of Watanabe's projects?
Yeah, I mean that makes sense because Axel is supposed to be like the Spike guy. He's supposed to be quote unquote badass of the team. That's what he's supposed to be.
Mm.
But like I don't know if they have the same fighting style or anything like that because like Mugen was more of a breakdancing samurai. That's what Mugen was.
Mm.
Spike used Jeet Kune Do. That was his big thing. That's what
Mm.
he was known for. This dude, he used more like parkour, like a parkour type, like martial art type thing. Because
Yeah,
like he's using his surroundings and stuff like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
but that's what
He's
Mugen
doing
did
like
as well.
a lot of free running too. Well,
Yeah,
like I said, Mugen was an unorthodox samurai, but at the end of the day, he was more of the break dance. He was a break dancing samurai. That's basically what he was.
sure,
Because like he liked to spin and round and everything like that. He was an unorthodox samurai. Where you got Ren was your traditional samurai. Like that's
sure.
the differences between them two. But like there are some. But I do get I get what you're saying. Like there are some scenes in there while Axel is moving around, it does feel like that's something Mugen would do, or that's something that Spike would do, or something like that. Like I do feel you, because he does look like a modern day Spike. He does,
Yep.
or like a younger Spike. He does look similar to Spike.
Yeah, I think we're
Yep.
going to see the same choreography, which is kind of, it's very expected to see that type of stuff, especially for like the creator and the MC. It's a nice flashy way to fight. I mean, you can't go wrong with showing it. I do think you're going to see a lot of the similarities in choreography, but I wanted to go back to what Ginyu was saying about the hackers, right? What if the hacker we're looking for is the girl? Because they seemed all surprised that to know she was like a hacker or like a top hacker of like the three that can do this very specific thing. What if
Mm.
she is the hacker and she just trying to throw, like, what if she's working for Skinner?
I don't think so, because I think at the end of the day, while all of them are working as a team, they don't all know each other's reasons for being there. So there is that element of yes, it's possible, but it's in my eyes, it's unlikely. I think this 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 little moment got her excited because she never it felt like she never thought she would be in a situation where she would ever have to try and catch one of these guys, the or
Okay.
person or girl, these hackers. This is something that, like, this is something that it felt like to her is like, wow, I had been hoping for such an opportunity in my life and I never thought it would come, and here it is. But yeah, no, as we get closer, as we get closer to just to hopefully getting a bit more of stuff revealed, I think just as quick final thoughts, what are you guys hoping for, at least in the next couple of episodes? Just quick fire thoughts. What do you think will hook you or get you locked back in completely in the next, if it happens in the next couple episodes? Just quick thoughts.
I would want to see a little bit more story on Skinner and Axel. Just a little bit more, just fleshing them out more as characters. A little bit more world setting. I would say this conversation actually has me looking forward to episode 4 more than what episode 3 actually did, though.
Yeah, Shin, quick thoughts.
Quick thought. I hope he throws us a curve and they actually find Skinner in like episode 6, and then we find out something else. That's what I hope. I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna happen or anything like that, but that'd be cool. I also would like if he like put some kind of like cameo with the Bebop crew or even the Samurai Champloo crew, like something. I know that's probably not gonna happen, but that'd be
Yeah.
nice just for nostalgia's sake.
Nice. That'll be very interesting. So, guys, this has been our Lazarus discussion. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about episode 3 of Lazarus. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What are you hoping for? How do you think it can get better? Let us know in the comments so we can have a good discussion on that. And we'll see you guys next time in episode 4 of Lazarus. It is myself, Ginyu Talk, Kaio Tim, Shin the Hero. This is the Anime Association, and we'll see you soon.